Half of all tropical forests in the world today are secondary forest, growing on land that was once logged or used for cattle pasture. In the past, most degraded land was left to regenerate on its own or was planted with non-native teak, pine, or eucalyptus. But as human populations skyrocket, tropical forest becomes ever more important. At the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute in Panama, scientists and students from around the world are learning from nature how to create a more sustainable future. Our Agua Salud experiment shows us how smart reforestation can protect water supplies, mitigate climate change, and protect biodiversity. In the largest tropical reforestation experiment of its kind, we planted 150,000 trees and protected degraded lands in a 3-square-mile area in the Panama Canal watershed. The trees are growing remarkably quickly, demonstrating nature's own resilience in the face of climate change. On poor soils, we've planted native hardwood species that grow larger and store more carbon than non-native teak, helping mitigate climate change and also providing a better investment option for rural landowners. To better understand how land use management affects water supplies, we compared the amount of water in streams draining cattle pasture with the amount of water in streams draining forested land. Water flows quickly over the packed soils of cattle pastures. And we've confirmed that forest soils act as a sponge. Water percolates down into holes made by animals and plant roots and is stored in the soil, reducing flooding during major storms and providing water during dry periods. We are learning from nature that if we grow new forest on degraded lands, the trees attract birds and mammals that help to spread seeds and pollinate flowers, bringing new life to once barren landscapes. This research, pioneered in Panama, is leading to smarter land use planning that will keep people safe around the world.
Tropical rainforests are some of the oldest and most diverse ecosystems in the world. The forests of Borneo are at least 140 million years old. It is an evolutionary center with a staggering amount of endemic plant and animal species. Only half of Borneo's rainforests remain now, and deforestation will have serious ramifications for habitat and species loss from fragmentation. The conservation of plant species will play a pivotal role in restoring these degraded forests. TRCRC is working towards protecting rare and endangered trees in the state of Sabah, northern Borneo.
Our forests are becoming ever increasingly more fragmented. As forests become more fragmented, these species are losing the ability to re-establish themselves in the population. What we're doing right now is we're establishing a site where we're collecting species from all these fragmented regions, breeding them, and in the future, reproducing them so that we can ensure that the diversity of the restoration projects can be ensured. We're now at the highest point of Mercury. Mercury is about 202 hectares in size, composing of degraded forests. It's classified as a Class 4 Virgin Forest Reserve, but in recent times it was encroached by illegal palm oil owners. At the moment, it's pretty much on a secondary phase of regeneration. and we are pretty much in this second year on the mark on restoration of this site.
Kami menyimpan pokok khas untuk living collection di mana pokok-pokok tersebut disimpan di dalam pelbagai saiz polybag. Living collection ni adalah tempat di mana kami menghantar semula, menanam semula pokok-pokok tersebut di kawasan yang dipanggil plot atau kompartmen ataupun blok.
We are standing here in one of TRCRC's research plots here in Marisuli. We have 21 research plots throughout the area, and each of these research plots we measure all the plants within a 10-meter radius of the plot. So what do we measure? We get a species list of all the plants we can find here, anything above 1.3 meters and anything with 2 cm growth. So why are we measuring this data? So we want to collect baseline data to kind of keep track of the restoration over time. So to keep track of the species dynamics and all these kind of things as the forest restores itself. So as you can see, this area is a secondary forest. There's a lot of understory plants, lots of pioneer species, and very open canopy. So previously, this area was an illegal oak palm plantation. SFD came in, cleared the plantation, and entrusted TRCRC with restoring the area for the next 99 years.
Jadi pokok yang ada ini kami sediakan di mana semasa kami membuat pungutan biji benih, kami perlu mencari satu spesies pokok yang mempunyai 5 ibu dalam satu kawasan. Pokok-pokok tersebut akan kami asingkan dan kami semai supaya dia membesar, dan pokok tersebut akan kami tanam di dalam plot yang disediakan.
What we're doing now, we're going to reintroduce the rare endangered species that we kind of source from all around Sabah, bring them back here to our nursery and plant them back into this forest. And if these plants are within our research plots, we can have like data over time on the survival rates, the dynamics of it growing here, have success stories, failures, and learn from it. And learn as we go to fully restore the forest and to conserve all these rare and endangered species we collected all around Sabah.
The most important part of this whole process is seed collection. Our conservation efforts involve extensive surveys of the plant distribution in forest fragments, where these plants are further threatened by isolation and are unable to reproduce. The expedition crew will spend weeks out on the field searching for fruiting events and collecting seeds from all around the state of Sabah.
At the moment, we're in the Ulu Segama region looking for rare endangered trees. We're on the third stage of our seed collection process, and we've currently just found a tarap, a wild strain of tarap at the back. In the living collection, we are collecting rare endangered trees based on the IUCN status. When we come across these species in the forest, we basically tag them, mark the parent tree, and take all kinds of information such as the GPS location and the height of the tree. So when we go back into a nursery, we have all the records of what we just recently collected.
The wild tarup is a native fruit plant. It's important to conserve wild relative fruit strains to ensure the availability of genetic material for future crossbreeding possibilities. Over 80% of Malaysian forests are lowland dipterocarp trees, named after the family of trees that dominate the canopy. The Living Collection aims to protect and conserve these rare and endangered trees, the crucial step being harvesting their seeds.
So we just found a Parascholia melanonan, which is a critically endangered dipterocarp species. Under the IUCN, it's red listed. At the moment, the tree is ready for collection and the fruits are ripe. But what we have to do is we have to basically shake the tree to make sure we can collect fresh seeds so that the pigs and whatnot animals that are competing with us do not get them first.
What does it take to save a forest? To reforest degraded landscapes, to provide habitats, and to reconnect fragments. What does it take to restore the services that the rainforest provides to us? What does it take? Where do we start? It starts with a seed.
Hutan, bagi sebagian orang, hanyalah hamparan tanah yang ditumbuhi sekumpulan pohon dengan segala sumber daya di dalamnya yang dapat dieksploitasi. Namun, bagi mereka yang memiliki kesadaran lebih, hutan menjadi pendukung kehidupan yang vital. Selain memanfaatkan, mereka akan menjaga sumber daya tersebut agar terus ada. Pengelolaan hutan secara bijak akan menyelamatkan manusia. Tanpa hutan, bumi akan seperti bulan, indah namun mematikan.
Hutan bagi kami sebagai salah satu sumber kehidupan. Kalau hutan rusak, sungai bisa tercemar. Kami susah cari ikan dan susah cari air minum.
Bonobos live deep in the most remote part of the Congo rainforest. Though they share almost 99% of human DNA, most folks have never even heard of a bonobo. For their survival and for ours, it's time that we get to know them. Bonobos are remarkable for their intelligence, their compassion, and their social structure. They use affection rather than aggression to resolve conflict and reinforce social bonds. Bonobos are found only in the very remote jungles of the Congo rainforest, which is second in size only to the Amazon, and its rainforest harbors incredible biodiversity and plays a critical role in sequestering carbon and maintaining Earth's climate. If it is lost, so are we. Thankfully, there is a plan underway that can save both bonobos and vast areas of the Congo rainforest. The Bonobo Conservation Initiative has partnered with indigenous communities and the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo to create the Bonobo Peace Forest, a connected network of community-managed reserves that protects bonobos, preserves the rainforest, and promotes local leadership and well-being. The Peace Forest is a project of the Bonobo Conservation Initiative, or BCI, which was founded by Sally Jewell Cox.
The bonobos have really served as a flagship species in our work to protect them. It has led to protecting many millions of acres of incredibly important and biodiverse rainforest. Just up to now, we have officially protected over 9 million acres of bonobo habitat, with over 2 million acres ready to be protected. But what's so amazing is that the bonobo itself has been truly the motivator to protect these huge, large tracts of rainforest.
In the last 30 years, the human population of the Congo has doubled, while the number of bonobos has been cut in half. If these trends continue, we will lose them as a species. Humans are bonobos' greatest threat. We are also their greatest hope. By supporting the Bonobo Conservation Initiative and the Bonobo Peace Forest, you can help create a future for bonobos and all life on Earth.
Hi, my name is Fanny Cornejo. I am Country Director of Rainforest Partnership. Here at Rainforest Partnership, we have a very vibrant office in Peru. We have around 8 team members, and we're all working together to try to accomplish our mission, which is a vibrant forest for a healthy planet. One of our key projects is a regional action plan for the yellow-tailed woolly monkey and the Andean night monkey. Currently, we were able just a few days ago, on February 17th, to have a regional ordinance signed by the governor of the region of Amazonas that approves the regional action plan for these 2 species. Both species are endemic of Peru. That means that they only occur here and they only occur in the ecosystem of the tropical Andes, which makes both of them at risk of extinction, not only because of the small distribution, but because these forests of the tropical Andes are the most endangered in the country. The yellow-tailed woolly monkey are arboreal animals, and as arboreal, they do not need just a single tree, but they need a huge extension of trees. The Andean night monkey, as its name says, is a nocturnal animal. They are only awake during the night, and they're very particular because they are the only species of monkey that is nocturnal. So both species are confronting these challenges right now, and the development of this regional action plan is the first effort countrywide to be able to ground activities and commitments from different actors, including the government, to plan ahead of time how we are going to overcome these challenges and how we're going to achieve the conservation of these 2 species in the long term. So the tropical Andes, it's a biodiversity hotspot. It's considered the epicenter of biodiversity, and it's currently disappearing because of anthropogenic actions. That means actions that are driven by humans. A lot of them has to do with lack of planning, lack of investment in providing alternative economies to local populations. So we here as Rainforest Partnership, together with our local partners, we are trying to come up with different strategies to confront these challenges, such as being able to create public policy tools that will order how activities are done, and then we can have a strategic planning for long-term conservation of these spaces. So we are very excited that we were finally able to achieve these results. We were extremely happy and proud to see the governor of Amazonas sign off this regional ordinance, and we're hoping that this is something that will be replicated in other regions. But we wouldn't be able to do that if we don't count with you, if you don't help us achieve our goals. So different ways that you can help is by sharing what we're doing, by informing yourself how you as a consumer, for example, can have impact in different levels. Also to fundraise to be able to implement our goals.
beautiful ceiba tree. Beautiful as ever. Look at it. It's just gorgeous. It's totally beautiful. I've been sleeping here all night. And now it's time to go down. All the way down. It's been an amazing evening and morning. And look, there's another emergent tree in the distance. There are not that many. And here's what it looks like all the way down.
From deep within the Amazon, an ancient vision is emerging. The Shikuni Institute of Permaculture works alongside Shipibo communities to heal and regenerate the Amazon through the union of indigenous wisdom and permaculture.
Es en nuestra cultura el más poderoso, el más fuerte, chamán, pero ahora es un poco se han desaparecido, ¿no? Está por la selva, están protegiendo, no se puede ver.
Since the dawn of our species, we have lived wholly immersed in the wonder of a living universe, intuitively guided and supported by the patterns and processes of nature. Only recently have we become disconnected from that.
Over 4 decades of industrial development has brought widespread destruction to the Amazon, transforming healthy, vibrant forests, cultures and people into a patchwork of degradation, contamination and scarcity. More than 20% of the Amazon has already been lost. 1.1 million more hectares are being lost every year. That's almost 6,000 American football fields per day. We cannot afford to lose this critical ecosystem, and we believe there is another way. The Shikuni Institute of Permaculture is a grassroots initiative that's creating opportunities for motivated people from the Amazon and overseas to be catalysts of positive change. Through innovative training programs integrating indigenous wisdom and permaculture design, Shikuni is supporting community-led development of extensive forest gardens, capable of providing sustainable livelihoods, flourishing biodiversity, and restoring the rainforest's vibrant culture. Permaculture teaches us that by taking care of the earth, the people, and the future, we can nourish the emerging regenerative paradigm and create a world of abundance in which we can all thrive. Indigenous wisdom and their way of life practice the same. Our work integrates them together to bring hope back to areas of the forest that have been devastated. It's called Macambo. It's related to the cacao.
Yeah, I tried some.
Just had some there, yeah. Also, we're growing peanuts and things like that as well. Yeah, go for it. Anyone can have a touch. It will reopen in a few minutes. It's a beautiful, oh my gosh, beautiful tactile plant. Gives you a feeling at one with nature. Oh. We are working to a comprehensive permaculture master plan covering 175 hectares as designed by leading tropical permaculture designer Doug Bullock.
Getting clear.
With major landscape projects in medicinal and food gardens, horticulture and natural farming, aquaculture and animal systems, agroforestry and food forests. In all these areas using soil and waste management systems, renewable energy and local water systems. By listening to nature, we're able to incorporate designs that regenerate the forest and create abundance of foods, fuels and fibres. We work with indigenous experts and healers on local and medicinal plants and how they function in the ecosystem.
Acá tenemos nuestra planta de medicina, estamos plantando acá para tener propia de nosotros. Mira, estas plantas se llaman marica, para abrir nuestro corazón, que tiene mucha tristeza, que tiene mucha rabia, ¿no? Para seguir buen camino. Este mucura es para curar nuestro oído, para curar sinusitis, cuando tienes se cierra tu nariz, ¿no? Este es bueno para eso, para el ruido.
We're also incorporating traditional knowledge from around the world and applying it here, like this Lowy system from the Pacific Islands, that modulates the flow of water in the landscape so that we can use this abundant wetland resource to grow all that we need. Taro, rice, water chestnuts, kangkong, nitrogen fixers, aguaje, and water medicinals. We're also working with local communities to implement these systems, moving away from slash and burn practices, regenerating the forest, and revitalising local economies. For nearly 3 years, in conjunction with our sister organisation Alianza Ocana, we have worked with more than 16 indigenous communities, implementing waste management systems, farm-to-table nutrition classes, environmental education programs, and are now moving forwards with implementing horticulture and agroforestry projects.
Permaculture brings people back to what they used to know. It validates ancient wisdom and cultural practices, while introducing methods that are effective in meeting the great challenges of the modern age. As a species, we have a responsibility to each other, to our planet, and to our future generations to protect one of the most important ecosystems on Earth, the Amazon rainforest. We cannot afford to lose it.
It's a pleasure for me to bring my grandchildren here to see that we're planting all these trees in our country. And my country goes from the Daintree River to the Mowbray River. So all this area here is very important to us, and for my grandchildren to see that we're putting all these trees back in for the future for them.
Not just the physical act, it's a contribution back to the landscape, and that's something that's been missing out of our culture for a very long time, and it's incredibly inspiring and refreshing to see it being instilled and revived and become a part of our culture. It is just a wonderful progress seeing all these plants going into the ground and creating habitat for the wildlife. And this is so amazing to see this land turning from a barren land that had some cane toads and some cane beetles on it, to seeing the insects come, the birds come for the insects, the lizards are coming, we've got turtles in the lake up there already. It is absolutely fantastic seeing the wildlife moving back in here.
I've always been a fan of animals. I really like cassowaries. Their home has been distracted by human activity, and I just want to help them because as humans we destroy a lot of animals' habitats, and I want to stop that. The reason we plant trees for cassowaries is because the fruit grows on them, and then when they eat that they poo it out and that grows more trees, and that improves the forest.
El Instituto Chaikuni ha arreglado este PDC, este curso de diseño de permacultura, para hacer un intercambio, ¿no?, de conocimiento ancestral, tradicional y ecológico.
El curso lo que busca es rescatar fantasía en donde la nada se había apoderado y volver a darle un sentido, vida y al sueño de las personas que habitan en este lugar.
El curso de diseño de permacultura, una de sus metas personalmente para mí es involucrar a más actores locales de esta zona. Se está trabajando con varios representantes de las comunidades vecinas. Lo que buscamos es ser más en estas ideas, en estas alternativas. La permacultura nos da muchas posibilidades de ser muy abiertos y ser muy ingeniosos, adaptativos a cada necesidad, a cada zona. Y yo creo que eso es la riqueza más grande que está este curso.
El concepto de permacultura nace desde una búsqueda de cómo desarrollar sistemas agrícolas que puedan permanecer en el tiempo. Imaginémonos que el tronco es la permanencia a partir de una base agrícola, pero ese tronco ha desarrollado ramas que le han dado una visión mucho más integral y mucho más holística a la permacultura.
La permacultura me ha hecho ver un mundo lo que antiguamente mis abuelos han experimentado muchos años. Y viendo la necesidad que hoy en día nosotros no estamos aplicando esas costumbres, veo la necesidad de otra vez revalorizar nuestras costumbres, lo que es Shipigo.
El trabajo también es la generación de una abundancia en ese paisaje, ya no solo la parte de producción agrícola, sino también el abasto de agua, el abasto de energía, la generación de estructuras que puedan permanecer a lo largo del tiempo, y todo esto complementado con un viaje profundo a nuestro interior, o sea, con una reingeniería profunda de nuestro ser, que nos permita poder entender hacia dónde es que caminamos, soñar y a partir de ese sueño diseñarlo para poder vivirlo plenamente, ¿no?
And so this is cacao tree, and they're making the chocolate. But let's come and have a look at this. So some of these are not very good. You can tell this one, the tree may not be doing as well. But here's a tree that's doing well. Un momentito, Hilda. And there is one that Hilda's got. Yeah. And people don't realize that when they eat chocolate that it actually comes from this fruit. And the cacao fruit is very, very tasty. And people often ask, what does it taste like? And it's not sweet, sour, it's both. And it's pulpy, but it's not like any other fruit. Entonces, por favor. So you never get to eat the fruit, because the seeds are far more valuable, and they get fermented and then. And so here you can take this off, and you can see there's a lot of seeds, and then más bueno de otro.
Ya, el otro estaba más maduro, está un poco.
Which one's
not
better? This This is heart of palm with some fish, and then this is, of course, the chicha. Yeah.
Okay.
You can see And this is the white
wild cacao.
Cacao. And they're roasted as well. And as Danny called it, monkey brain, but not. This is the cheetah here. The Wayusa.
So the cheetah, it has yucca, jungle potato,
A fermented drink.
fermented, usually about 5 to 7 days.
Yeah.
See, okay.
Like we call it jungle beer.
Jungle beer. Okay.
And then that's wild grapes. Or it's like grapes, but it's different.
That's jungle grapes.
And then, of course, this is how it was made. The heart of palm along with some fish. And then, of course, this was some hot, spicy
Actually,
sauce.
And then what are those?
This one
And then
also.
that,
This
is the grubs that are roasted.
And what are grubs, Nianta?
What are grubs?
See.
The larva stage
Yes.
of certain
Jungle bacon.
then I can't eat it. As a vegetarian, I've come to the conclusion that when the women make these, I'm no longer a vegetarian. In fact, when the women make things for me, I often eat it, as I am now. Yes. So, but yeah.
Okay.
Ready to
We're ready to film you eating
Not
one.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Very nice.
Orise premier mwanangu akaye Yego kao alobito teremaye Kuraka moye moye oyo Mama elo sokoto inaye Lolia kamimo yae Antapole Okotola Bango kuna bali akafeke mama Bango kuna bali akandena koro Bango kuna bali akapena mbese oyo Biso toliaka mimboya Toliaka kotose Nantuka na embere Pitere diwa banza o Bongo na Kinshasa Toliaka na nine Masole na shok Mayake Masole na shok Ma chérie Masole na shok Biso nyoso na kini Masole na shok Wasi mo mali Masole na shok Ezala batu ya mapinga Masole na shok Wongo marulan Masole na shok Biso nyoso Zolia na toketo Zolia na toketo Zolia na toketo Zolia na toketo La kinazeri 007 na Ferlande Patou Mombo Maurice premier Aena visa koe Biso salisa Kongo Maurice premier Mwana Mwakaye Yego kao Aena visa koe Apesi misala Alobi bilenge Hôtel et matoye ko la formation Apprenez-nous à travailler Chaque kanda kanda Okay Lea monele na Boba Dosomane Ana kibamba mama bondeli Motema Maurice premier ngoyao Gabi Kilima Alexi Ngongo Maître avocat Talose Loyaka Jile Dikanama Povininye Bienvenue Kuzundolele Maurice premier mwana Waka Diego Kao Azolia nani Azolia na shop Azolia nani Azolia na shop Zala Kampulu na Tokyo Azolia na shop Kula Kapela Azolia na nini Azolia na shop Wasi Malena Nina Azolia na shop Azolia Malena Nina Azolia na shop Antule Man Amizite Azolia na shop C'est la quinoiserie Papi Matalatala tozaka pasele mutombo tozolia nani tozolia na toto.
I spent a year in the rainforest studying orangutans. So there's a few little details in here which, for those of you who are interested in the actual science of it, might want to know. So orangutans, they do make nests, but they make them every night in a different tree. So it's not like there's just one home tree. They will move around. And ironwoods are amazing trees, and they are very, very, very strong. They are like an ironwood. I've never seen an orangutan nest in an ironwood. I imagine because it's very hard to break the branches. It might happen, but I've never seen it. And then the other thing is a baby orangutan would never come down to the ground. I've seen adults come down to the ground, but not a baby orangutan because it's too dangerous. So they would stay up in the trees, but they definitely do sometimes explore without their mamas. I've seen that happen. Sometimes their mamas worry about them and they have to come after them. So that's definitely true. And the other thing is, I just wanted to point out that the program that we helped start in Indonesia, that I helped start, called ASRI, one of the things that we do is we help buy those chainsaws from those loggers so that they can start other businesses so that they don't have to log anymore. And it is a great joy to be able to help them and to help the baby orangutans and the mama orangutans so that they have their home and the people are healthy and happy and have a good life, because that can happen all together. Thank you very much. It was a joy to talk to you today. My name is Dr. Kinnery Webb, and I'm the founder of Health in Harmony. And today I'm going to read you a story. This is a story that was written by two of our volunteers out in Borneo, Julia Gore and Mia Plood, and Mia Plood did the drawings. This story is called Have You Seen My Ibu? And Ibu means mother in Indonesian. So, it was a beautiful winter morning in Lubuk Baji, and Ibu Maya was just waking up to a grumbling stomach. Do you see Ibu Maya with her baby? My baby will be hungry, she thought to herself. I will go find her some breakfast, so she will have something nice to wake up to. And out of the nest, she slipped quietly to go find herself and her baby some fresh fruit. Can you see them? There's Ibu Maya leaving the nest. Not long after Ibu Maya had gone, Bayi Mehmet woke up to find his nest without a mother and his own stomach growling. Normally, Mehmet would have been frightened, but he had recently had a birthday and was feeling quite grown up and brave. He was sure he knew where his mother had gone. So off he went to find his Ibu and some breakfast. This was the first time Mehmet had left the large ironwood tree without his Ibu. And as he swung his way down to the forest floor, he started to feel something a little more than hunger in his stomach. Hitting the forest floor, he examined the ironwood one last time before turning and shuffling off into the forest. Can you see the big ironwood tree? Soon, baby Mehmet realized that he had become lost and began to look frantically for any sign of his Ibu. Before he began to panic, he heard a rustling sound coming from the canopy of the forest. Uh-oh, could that be my Ibu? Mehmet thought. Then he saw a flash of red against the leaves and quickly called out without thinking, Ibu! He realized his mistake as a couple red monkeys Heads popped out of the trees, laughing at him. Breathing through his nerves, he took a big breath and called out, "Have you seen my Ibu?" See, look, there he is in the forest. The red monkeys chattered to themselves as they continued to laugh and point without answering. One by one, they disappeared, ignoring Mehmet, until only 2 monkeys were left, a mother and her small baby peering out between her arms. She pointed in the direction of a faint buzzing sound and then turned and leapt away. Her baby followed quickly behind her. Mehmet continued in the direction that the monkey had pointed, and after what felt like forever, he ran into a bearded pig, snuffling around the forest floor. "Have you seen my Ibu?" Mehmet asked. "No," snorted the pig, and continued on through the undergrowth. Now Mehmet was far from home and very lost. He could no longer hear the buzzing sound, and as he looked around, frightened, he saw some movement on a branch and quickly ran to it, only to find out that it was a huge snake. "Have you seen my Ibu?" stammered Mehmet, terrified. "Yes," replied the snake. "She was just here seconds ago. You'll find her if you follow the sound." With that, the snake appeared to drift off into a deep slumber. Mehmet sat quietly by the snake, waiting for a sound different from any of the typical jungle sounds. Just when he couldn't wait any more, he heard the buzzing sound much louder and followed by a huge crash. See, there's Mehmet. "That must be her," cried Mehmet, and he rushed off in the direction of the sounds. There he goes. The sounds were getting louder and louder, and as he rushed quickly through the forest, through the trees, he saw a great ironwood in the distance. His excitement began to grow. But when he reached the base of the tree, he did not see his mother. Instead, he saw a man with a chainsaw cutting down the giant tree, and his mother was nowhere to be found. Baby Mehmet had had a long day filled with rude monkeys and terrifying snakes. And with another disappointment in front of him, he couldn't take it anymore. He crouched by the tree and he cried. Somehow, the man heard him over the racket of his chainsaw, and he stopped sawing to find out what the noise was that was louder than his. See, there's the man. Seeing Mehmet so upset, the man walked over and crouched down beside him. "What's wrong, little one? Are you lost?" Mehmet peered up at the man, terrified and exhausted. With one last wave of courage, he asked the man hopefully, "Have you seen my Ibu?" "I think she left our ironwood to get breakfast, and I should have stayed in our nest, but I didn't, and now I'm lost." Little Mehmet told the man his whole story, and when he was finished, the man sat quietly thinking. See, there's Mehmet crying. Finally, he spoke. "I was walking through the forest early this morning, and I saw an ironwood that I had decided to cut down. I was about to start sawing when I saw your mother leave the nest. I don't know where she went, but I do know where that tree is, and I can take you there. See, the man is going to help Mehmet. Mehmet leapt up, wanting nothing more than to go home, and reached out to take the man's hand. The man got up and took it, guiding the way back into the forest. As they made their way through the forest, Mehmet spotted the huge snake lazily basking in the spot of sun. A little farther on, Mehmet heard rustling and a flash of bearded pig, but she made sure to stay out of earshot so as not to bother her. See? Farther on, he heard cackling and saw the red monkeys in the trees laughing at themselves and at nothing in particular. They go, they do. With each new thing, Mehmet squeezed the nice man's hand so that he knew to look and got to see them too. Finally, Mehmet saw his giant ironwood tree. Do you remember that tree? And leaping ahead, he cried, home! He peered up the big tree and saw his Ibu's face peering over the side of it with a relieved look in her eyes. Mehmet turned and gave the man a quick bow before scrambling up the tree to his waiting Ibu. You see, he's doing the thing that children in Indonesia do. They put their hands of the person to their forehead. Where have you been? Exclaimed Ibu Maya. I was. Before she could finish her sentence, Mehmet leapt into her arms and held her tightly. Relieved to have her baby back in her nest and surrounded by a fresh pile of fruit, Ibu Maya couldn't stay mad. Let's eat some breakfast, love, and you can tell me about your adventure. You see how happy they are together? Aww. Down on the forest floor, the man watched Mehmet begin to tell his story. He saw him happily leaping about, acting out each encounter as fear was replaced with bravery. Seeing how happy they were, the man expected to feel the same. But instead, he felt a pit in his stomach, knowing he had almost cut down this family's home. Maybe I should stop cutting down the trees, he thought to himself. I can find a new job that does not risk destroying someone's home. As the birds chirped and the bugs hummed and the wind gently blew through the canopy, Ibu Maya and little Mehmet enjoyed their breakfast of fresh fruit, enjoying the natural sounds of the forest. Not too far away, in a little town, the man set down his chainsaw for good, never to pick it up again. See? Humans can do really well and happy, and the forest can do really well and happy. And all the orangutans can live and thrive. So that's the story that I wanted to read to you today as a happy Mother's Day. Thank you very much.
So hello, my name is Emily Horn and I am an Earth Uprising City Coordinator for Charleston.
Hi, I'm Sage Stretch and I'm the Earth Uprising City Coordinator for Washington, D.C.
So today we are going to show you how to create the 4 layers of the rainforest in a shoebox.
So for this art project, you'll need a shoebox, construction paper, or color paper of whatever color you want your forest to be, and then scissors to cut out the trees and plants, tape or glue, markers to draw animals. You can also print pictures of them and cut them out if you'd like, and some miscellaneous crafts like cotton balls, sequins, some glitter maybe, googly eyes.
So first you can get your shoebox. I have this lovely shoebox, and you could basically cut some like construction paper in the shape of the shoebox. So see, I cut out blue paper for the sky, and I got green paper for the like forest part. And then on the bottom, there's brown for the ground. So the next step would be you can draw animals on like construction paper, or what I did was I printed out pictures of animals, and you could just cut them out. This is a jaguar. You can find brown construction paper, roll it up, or you can use a paper towel and fit it in the shoebox to create like a tree trunk. So after you do that, it'll look like that. So for the top of the trees, I just got tissue paper, and you can even cut it out to make it look more like a tree. But you can tape different animals. This would be considered the emergent layer of the rainforest. And you would basically you could tape some animals that you drew onto it. So that would be like butterflies, birds, and such. So then you could tape it to the top. So here you go. See, it's the top, and so it looks kind of like a tree. Okay, so the next step would be to work on the canopy layer. So that would be where toucans, monkeys, and all of those would be. So what you could do is I made a little vine out of brown construction paper, and then I taped animals to it. So you see the toucan and stuff. So you could just like tape that. So there you go. It looks okay. The tree's kind of falling over. The next step would be to work on the understory layer. So that would be like frogs and snakes. I have a little tree frog, and you could just kind of tape that underneath where you put the monkeys. The next step would be to work on the forest floor. That's where you can cut out little plants and trees from construction paper, add little leaves that I cut out, tape them to the bottom. And some animals that live on the forest floor would be like elephants and jaguars. And then at the end, if you want to add any other details like sequins or cotton balls or googly eyes to your animals, you can. So here's what mine looks like. Yeah, there you go. Looks great. So that's the end of the activity. Hope you enjoyed.
Mock COP is modelled on the United Nations conferences of the parties, the COPs. Schools send delegations of students who are each allocated a country to research and represent. They come together on the day to try and negotiate a global agreement on climate change. So we've had events in Carnarvon, Wrexham, Swansea and Cardiff, and now it's culminating in a big final event at the National Assembly for Wales here in Cardiff. They're taking part in interactive sessions with inspirational changemakers from across Wales, where they're talking about what change we want to see in Wales and how can we make that change happen. And then they're coming together in the debating chamber to represent their countries and try to negotiate a global agreement on climate change.
You either amend these motions, you cancel this resolution, or we pull out. We will call on other nations like the United States to pull out.
We are affected by flooding, we are affected by droughts, and we are affected by different types of natural disasters such as cyclones.
We don't say who we can and can't trust, we're all working towards the same thing. So let's try and unite and try and make sure that every country can meet an accessible goal. Otherwise, what is the point in us being here?
And why should India give up 0.5% of the GDP, which we could spend elsewhere?
And then link that climate change to the excessive coal burning in your country. You have to say anything on that.
We're also encouraging the students and teachers to become climate change champions, so we want them to go back to their schools and communities and feel empowered to be able to talk to them about climate change and think about how they can take positive action on climate change.
I've really enjoyed Mock COP. I think it's been a fantastic experience for me to meet new people. I think it's helped me become more passionate about it, and that's really helped me enjoy my experience through Mock COP.
It's just been a great experience being able to talk with other younger people. You feel like you have a stronger sense of a youth community who don't want to wait for something detrimental to happen.
An bhain an beth rudin gweld nawr bod angen weary bawb cydweithio mwyn sicrhau bod gan y blaned yma dyfodol.
Dwi'n meddwl mae Mock COP yn wedi rhoi hyder i fi siarad am newid hinsawdd. Dwi'n meddwl mae hwnna peth mwyaf pwysig dwi'n mynd i cymryd o hyn.
I've definitely learned the power of teamwork here, since different countries have different perspectives, and with that also comes different ways of thinking.
It's a really good opportunity to really have an insight into how hard it is to solve climate change, and it's a brilliant opportunity to really sharpen your debating skills. It's a brilliant opportunity in general. Just if you ever get the chance to, I'd say definitely do it.
Tropical rainforests are an incredible powerhouse in terms of a solution to climate change.
The work of Rainforest Partnership matters now more than ever.
Films here at Films for the Forest, they help tell stories that help people become active participants in protecting our natural resources.
So we are at a critical point, critical juncture for humankind. So we have two dual crises that we're facing as humanity: the climate crisis and the extinction crisis. Rainforest Partnerships work handles both these crises. It's an answer to both these crises packaged in one. Our integrated approach allows us to both protect biodiversity and also the forests.
The way I like to think about how Rainforest Partnership works is we are empowering people on the ground to protect these critical ecosystems.
By working directly with local and indigenous people, communities that live in the forest, by helping them make an income that allows them to protect their forest and their way of life.
We work in Peru and Ecuador. We work in the Amazon basin. We work in the tropical Andes, which is where the Amazon meets the Andes. So it's this incredible cloud forest ecosystem. We also work in the Pacific tropical forests, which is a very, very biodiverse region on the coast of Colombia, through Ecuador, and down to Peru.
So Rainforest Partnership is much like the ecosystem that rainforests are. And that is that we're a diverse group of people from different parts of the world, passionate, dedicated people, anthropologists, primatologists, mammalogists, ecologists, people that know how to work directly with communities, work with all levels of government, but also understand science.
But we're also bringing in different stakeholders such as local governments, regional governments, national governments, different NGOs. We're bringing everybody to the table. You know, it's in our name, partnership. We need everyone involved to actually protect these ecosystems.
And so it's a very integrated approach because that's what an ecosystem as complex as a rainforest needs.
What I think is so important about working with communities is they're the ones who live in these places. Why not empower them?
In Sunny Isla, in the Ecuadorian Amazon, we work directly with women, Quechua women, who are making an income for the first time, making and selling handicrafts. And that allowed them to protect their forest against some very powerful interests that wanted to extract oil on their community-titled land. And these women are running this project on their own without our help today, and they've become like the beacon in that part of the forest where other communities up and down the river are emulating what they've done.
This will be our 11th year for Films of the Forest, and it's been a South by Southwest community screening since 2010.
This year we got in over 40 films from 20 different countries, and we were representing all the continents. Well, when I'm reviewing the films, I'm kind of looking for something that's on theme. That's one of the big things that we're looking for. A film that's speaking for the forest, that's talking about something important happening in the environmental space around the world. And just heart, like a film that really speaks to us and surprises us and brings up new information or new ideas that we hadn't considered about places that, you know, they're far away but affect us all.
These stories actually take you there. They take you on the ground to these communities in the forest from their perspective, their challenges.
And so we have this privilege and honor at this point to be the ones to give all these people on 6 continents a voice to the rest of the world.
Do you believe she connects everything? The brightest skies, the birds and trees. Her breath, it is what keeps us alive. And now she's hurting, can you help us make her stronger? We gotta care for the world we see. She's gotta breathe. We gotta take responsibility. She's gotta breathe, breathing life into the world. Breathing life into the
Well,
The air is heavy, the pressure's growing, and we can't wait any longer. And now she's hurting, and we gotta make her stronger. We gotta care for the world we see. She's gotta breathe, and she's so precious, we all have to believe. She's gotta breathe, breathe a life into her, breathe a life into the world. Breathing life into the world. Breathing life into the world. Open up your heart now and give what you wanna give, planting the seeds of the world. Breathing life into the world. What do you think about all this destruction?
I don't know. Does it even affect me?
I know it's hard to believe that cutting down trees affects the water and the air that we breathe.
But when I look around me, everything looks fine.
Well, you may think so, but it's just a matter of time. That there is no solution for the pollution, overusing and abusing the natural resources we're losing. Escucha mi canto a través de su voz. Siente el pulso en la raíz madre. Respira conmigo. Imagine a world with clean air. Ozone got closed up, we don't fare. She brings life to all things. You and me, see, we gotta believe. Each one of us, yeah, we can make change. No need to point fingers, no need to point blame. One seed, one tree, one life. Breathe.
We gotta care for the world we see.
She's gotta breathe. Breathing life into the world. Breathing life into the world. Open up your heart now and give what you want. And now she's suffering, we gotta make her stronger. Together we are gonna make you believe, make you believe. Breathing life into the world. Breathing life into the world. Breathing life into the world.
Dear humankind, thank you for being a superhost. I never imagined I'd have the opportunity to jump to a species as abundant as you. Most viruses only get to know their original host animal. Many exist entirely in the humid understory of a remote rainforest. We viruses are kept in check by healthy environments with diverse and abundant wildlife. But when you rip forests apart and capture billions of animals to feed your insatiable appetite for flesh and false cures, you bring viruses like me out of our natural quarantines. You introduce us to new hosts, like you. A superhost of 8 billion individuals and counting. A walking, flying, swimming human meat market. You make up 1/3 of all mammals on Earth by weight. The animals you grow to feed yourselves outweigh all the wild mammals and birds on the planet. As you drive our natural wildlife hosts to extinction, you throw us life rafts bigger than the Titanic. Why wouldn't I jump? As sinister as I may seem, it is not in my interest to wipe out my hosts. We all need other life to thrive. So if this sickness in your bodies opens your eyes to the deeper sickness in our shared planet, it will be to all our benefit. But my big question to you is this: am I enough? If apocalyptic fires aren't enough, if vanishing glaciers aren't enough, if super hurricanes aren't enough, is the cold shadow I cast across the lives of you and your loved ones enough for you to finally confront the prospect of your own extinction? Only you, humankind, can choose to be the cure to the deeper sickness. Only you can choose to nurture the ancient oceans, forests, and grasslands that nurture you, to bring back the chorus of birds and monkeys to silent rainforests, and to make wise choices every day in what you consume and how you live. By protecting nature in all its wild and wonderful forms, you protect yourselves. As the earth stops to take a collective deep breath, you have a rare opportunity to reimagine and redefine a new future. So tell me, what future do you choose?
The Amazon will continue to play a vital role in stabilizing the global climate, as long as it's protected.
If we want life on this planet, we need to protect the Amazon rainforest. In 1962, President Kennedy had a moonshot idea that he was going to send man to the moon, and people thought he was crazy. 10 years later, the first astronauts reached the moon and showed us our living, breathing, blue and green Earth. What we need to do today is remember that we only have one Earth, we only have one Amazon, and it needs urgent and immediate protection. We need that moonshot idea to stand in solidarity with indigenous peoples who are protecting the lungs and the heart of our planet. So I'm calling upon all of you, will you join us?
The rainforest, an area home to more species than anywhere else on Earth.
I feel like I'm in the heart of everything. There's a thriving that is really powerful.
An area that cleans our air, purifies our water, and holds many of the important solutions to tomorrow's problems.
This rainforest is instrumental to the survival of the entire human race.
We need to protect what we have. The future of humanity is at stake.
How can we monitor a large area of forests that would provide us with a view of the tropical forest functioning?
We need nature.
Nós somos a resistência.
In the last year, more than 40 environmental and human rights defenders, including indigenous leaders on the front lines, have been murdered for defending the Amazon. This cannot go on.
I'm one of the targets. I'm one of those who have been persecuted and murdered for standing up and giving a voice to the people of the Amazon.
Indigenous peoples have known for thousands of years that cures to many of the world's diseases lie deep within the biodiversity of the Amazon's vital ecosystems. Our survival literally hinges on its preservation. At Amazon Watch, we're extremely concerned because indigenous peoples in the Amazon are among the most vulnerable to COVID-19. The potential for ethnocide is real for the very people who are the best stewards and protectors of the Amazon rainforest. Amazon Watch has joined indigenous peoples across the Amazon to demand a moratorium on any and all extractive activities in their territories. We're increasing rapid response support, calling on governments to respond to indigenous demands, including providing adequate health care. We must unite.
If not us, then who?
As quebradeiras são guerreiras. Guerreiras porque elas lutam e elas têm coragem de lutar e de dizer as coisas. Um movimento, né, que luta em prol, né,
do nosso babaçuá.
Terra de sempre, muito boa. Muito coco, gente quebrando, se divertindo, batendo papo.
Graças a Deus.
A gente, que nem eu tô falando, tira o azeite, aí a casca a gente faz o carvão.
Eu mesmo, agora por outra eu uso. Gastrite, dor de estômago. Você pode pegar a massinha dele e samear na comida.
Faz um bocado de coisa nessa massinha aqui.
Faz pão. Fazer o pão.
Significa a minha própria vida. Porque eu sou filha de quebradeira, aprendi a quebrar coco bem novinha e tem seis anos que eu sou mãe solteira, mãe de 7 filhos, sustento eles quebrando coco. Aí então para mim é a minha vida e dos meus filhos.
Primeiro a gente faz o leite para botar na panela, para botar na caça, botar no feijão. E aquele que é feito sem torrar é para fazer produto de limpeza, como sabão, sabonete, né? A gente vende para ter dinheiro, né?
Então é isso, é nossa riqueza é o babaçu. E é o que nos une. Nós somos irmãs de leite do babaçu.
Acho que as ameaças, elas são constantes. Elas mudam, assim, de cara.
A cerca representa, né, um símbolo, né, de proibição que a gente não tenha direito ao babaçu.
Essas aqui da reserva, no início foram muito fortes.
Chegou no outro dia lá, o fazendeiro falou que não queria ela na área, né, quebrando coco. Que quando ela chegou lá no outro dia, o litro estava tudo furado de bala. Então era dizendo que se ele tivesse achado ela lá, matava, né?
O fazendeiro mandou o jagunço laçar ela com uma corda de pegar boi. E ele laçou ela estava quebrando coco, ele laçou ela. Ela colocou as 2 mãos assim, para a corda não cortar o pescoço dela. E ele saiu arrastando. E outra que foi estraçaiada numa comunidade chamada Espírito Santo. Os porcos, os cachorros, o cara estrupou ela, violentou ela, mas não matou. E deixou ela viva lá e os bichos comeram. A gente achou só os traços. Então aí a gente se revoltou, aí a gente começou a luta. E com o apoio do padre, a gente foi buscar conhecimento, aí começou a se juntar Piauí com Maranhão, Imperatriz, Baixada, e a gente começou a discutir a criação do movimento das quebradeiras de coco a nível interestadual. E aí a gente até hoje tem essa luta e a gente não vai desistir assim fácil não. Essa produção é de grande importância para as mulheres, porque quando vende, cada uma tem a sua porcentagem. O primeiro estoque que tinha, mais de 3.000 litros, venderam. Está diversificando a produção E além de ajudar a gente na renda familiar, a gente está protegendo a floresta.
Aí nós estamos vendendo na compra direta, programa direto para a merenda escolar. Dá um suco muito bom, né, para as crianças e também a melhora da renda da família, né?
A gente diz lei do babaçu livre, mas ela não protege só o babaçu, ela protege o meio ambiente, a floresta, a Amazônia como um todo.
Tudo que a gente conquistou através das associações, né, dos movimentos de mulheres, e fica uma maravilha.
Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural.
É uma comunidade de gente que trabalha de roça, que quebra coco, que pesca, que dança, que pula, que brinca mastro e que faz um monte de coisa. E que preserva os nossos ancestrais. A gente acredita que é uma força que nos ajuda e que segura nas nossas mãos para dizer, não cai, levanta.
Não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural. Tu já sabe que não pode derrubar, precisamos preservar a riqueza natural.
Every single village you were in, you could hear many, many chainsaws all the time. Illegally logging in the national park. And now, you can't hear them anywhere. And the reason is we did something crazy. We did what I call radical listening. We asked them what they would need to stop logging. They told us that what they would need would be access to high-quality, affordable healthcare, so they wouldn't have to log to pay for healthcare, and they needed training in sustainable agriculture, particularly in organic farming. We did those things. 10 years later, we had an 88% drop in logging households. It's continued to decline since then, and we've had a drop in under 5 mortality. The environment is healthier and happier and better off, and the humans are healthier and happier and better off. You can pay for your healthcare with non-cash payment options. So you can pay with manure, you can pay with beautiful handicraft, and you can pay with seedlings, which we then use for reforestation. That is how people can always access care here now, and that's made an enormous difference because it means people don't have to log to pay for healthcare. We also give discounts to communities that stop logging. Now that discount is paid for by organizations that care about protecting orangutan, they care about the health of our planet. So they are willing to give a sign of thanks to the communities here who are protecting the forest. Sadly, when we started, we had already lost 40% of the forest, and there was rampant logging going on. But since we started our program, we managed to stabilize the loss of primary forest, and it stopped because we did what the communities said. And we have had 20,000 hectares of regrowth forest. We are so excited about replicating this model. There are many other places that we would like to work. We have to learn to live in balance with our Earth, and that means we have to protect rainforest. The lungs of the Earth are critical for the health of the entire planet. We have to protect them, and the only way to do that is to work together around the planet, but listening to the local communities because they know the solutions for how to protect them. So let's work together and make it possible.
Cái coi para hay nó mang bớt cái chỗ con này mà ấy bớt cái chỗ con uji chỗ con nó mà lên nó mà tu ikum mà tu bro ini kor cái cao kakim bos kia bro ini kor đó mà nó chỉ có cái được tiếng này mà nó sẽ có được có cái nó vô cả nó mà được kia nó mà hay có được đi một buổi nó mà sơ ra coi nó được về mình chỉ xem mình đây là mình chỉ xem trong nào nó lấy để có đến nó được mình sơ ra chụp đi để có đến cái này có đi ra mìnhจะthấy trong con.
O pessoal começou a colocar regra dentro da terra indígena, pessoal branco que a gente fala. Uma coisa que era de costume dos indígenas, no caso, que era o próprio fogo, proibiu, não vai queimar mais, não vai queimar, não vai queimar.
Antigamente o IBAMA trabalhava na ideia de fogo zero, trabalhava na ideia de não ter fogo, sempre combatendo, fazendo a prevenção, mas isso não surtiu muito efeito. Mesmo fazendo todo esse trabalho, ainda tinha fogo, bastante fogo.
Uma hora ia acontecer de pegar um fogo. E esse fogo, nesse local de 3, 4 anos, com o material combustível está bem alto, ia ser um fogo descontrolado, fora do controle mesmo, que ia acabar com tudo. Então procuraram entender, os mais velhos, o que fazer para acabar com esses grandes incêndios.
Nesse primeiro contato que teve com os indígenas, o que eles falaram? Olha, vocês estão trabalhando errado. Vocês só chegam na época crítica. Nessa época a gente não consegue fazer mais nada. Já queimou tudo. Vocês têm que rever o conceito de vocês.
A forma que conseguiram encontrar para poder acabar com o fogo foi com o próprio fogo.
O programa de brigadas, né, de combate a incêndios florestais em áreas indígenas, né, começou-se em 2013. A gente utiliza do conhecimento tradicional e a técnica, né, que é o trabalho técnico que o IBAMA utiliza, né, em relação às queimas. E essas queimas elas foram planejadas, né, mediante uma consulta nas aldeias, com os anciões.
O conhecimento tradicional é a base de todo o trabalho de queimas prescritas nas terras indígenas.
O nosso povo indígena já fazia, mas não igual essa grande quantidade que nós estamos fazendo agora, né? Só nós indígenas não dá conta de estar fazendo esse tipo de trabalho. O Estado está ajudando bastante mesmo com essa parceria, né, com os indígenas.
Todos os recursos que o IBAMA está disponibilizando, aeronave, caminhonete, combustível, para a gente não ter esses grandes incêndios.
Então nós estamos lutando pela nossa natureza, senão a nossa mãe nativa vai morrer. Quando falar de integrado, quer dizer que todos nós da humanidade está querendo lutar só por uma causa, né? Está protegendo a Ilha do Bananal contra fogo, porque senão fogo vem e ele acaba com as nossas florestas, com nossos recursos naturais, né?
Então a gente começa fazendo manejo integrado do fogo em algumas áreas, com a ajuda de um aplicativo, de um mapa da ilha, né? Um mapa onde mostra o combustível, onde deve ser queimado, que é o capim,
Tem todo um procedimento, que são planos de queima. E você queima, por que você vai queimar? Não, porque aqui é uma área de frutificação. Eu vou fazer o acero de uma aldeia. Ou então é uma área que eu quero defender uma mata. Sempre tem que ter um porquê.
A temporada é no mês de julho, porque no mês de julho tem as garoas. À noite as garoas caem, então bem ali mesmo é feito extinção do fogo por natureza mesmo.
Tá aqui, 100 metros por aí. Aí 100 metros, segue lá.
Você viu que o capim está meio úmido, então não prejudica muitas árvores. Por exemplo, não tem uns 5 minutos que o fogo passou aqui, não prejudicou essa árvore aqui, ó. Pode ver que as folhas têm flores, a folha está verde. Na borda da mata já não está mais queimando. Debaixo da mata também está úmido, então não tem como o fogo prolongar para frente. Então, nosso objetivo é isso, é proteger as matas.
Essa parte que foi queimado neste tempo, ele vai estar brotando novamente, onde os animais vai estar se alimentando e também vai ser usado para extinção do fogo. Na hora que o fogo chegar lá, ele vai apagar sozinho. O material ainda está verde, né?
Então a gente está vendo que as nossas matas foram se reduzindo por conta dos incêndios. Hoje, a gente queima na beira dessas matas. Então o fogo não entra mais. O que está acontecendo? Um processo de regeneração. Elas voltaram a crescer.
Frutos, sementes, peixe, madeira, que a nossa maior riqueza é isso, né? Porque faz parte da nossa vida, ele é do bananal, é nosso coração, é nossa mãe. Nós não podemos deixar a nossa mãe morrer.
Kaya no demo daqui, ano mau preço com demo daqui. Que mo kaya lá no se da kene chocolate daqui de. Ino te que a ele mo na no mari. No se te demo mau de. Sabe mo te que no darari.
Estou muito orgulhoso quando que entraram no brigadista que eu fiz, a provar que é muito difícil.
Uma das visões que eu tenho para o programa de brigadas, né, seria a profissionalização dos brigadistas, né, que hoje são contratados por 6 meses, depois tem que ficar 6 meses fora. Uma das coisas que eu espero é que a profissão de brigadista seja regulamentada e que se tenha uma capacitação continuada.
Pelo fato do IBAMA trabalhar num espaço muito curto de tempo, né, às vezes não sobra tempo para fazer essa interação melhor, interagir melhor com as aldeias. Né?
Nós, nas aldeias da comunidade, a gente quer participar, a gente quer ouvir mais, dar opinião, ser ouvido mais, né, e estar direcionando, né, os trabalhos como devem ser feitos.
Eu me sinto que eu sou um guerreiro da mata. Então assim, eu me sinto forte, guerreiro, na hora que eu estou trabalhando para o meu próprio patrimônio.
Um fogo bom, um fogo pequeno, que dá para ajudar a humanidade.
Muhammad Lukman. Umur ada 24 tahun.
Nama saya Muhammad Faris bin Mat Said. Saya umur 23 tahun dan saya besar di Kampung Padang. Ayah saya bekerja sebagai pemandu lori, mak saya kerja di kilang.
Tugas saya sebagai assistant supervisor planting and nursery, sebagai in-charge nursery di Tasipah Bandung. Ayah saya dah meninggal dan sekarang mak saya sebagai menjaga kecil-kecilan.
Sana tu macam berat jugalah. Kita kena bercangkur, duduk tengah panas, campur rumput tengah panas. Jadi fikir, teruk jugalah ni. Tapi kalau kita nak berjaya tu bukan yang senang. Jadi teruskan je lah. Teruskan sampai sekarang lah. Apa yang saya belajar kat program tu, yang paling penting ni kira hargai pokok lah. Sebab di sana tanam daripada biji sebab kita sendiri yang jaga. Jadi bila pokok tu mati, kita sendiri yang rasa macam mana susah yang kita jaga sampai pokok tu besar tiba mati. Jadi hargai pokok tu lah.
Sekarang kita di hutan simpan Manjaya. Sekarang kita tengah ukur tanda ni nak buat tiang nursery untuk dapat nursery penyemaian.
NGO ini ditubuhkan bertujuan untuk membantu pemulihan hutan tropika di Malaysia. Terdapat satu pasukan di dalam tim ini iaitu G-Team. Kita panggil dia ground team, di mana mereka ditugaskan untuk membantu kami melakukan kerja-kerja nursery. Mereka ni adalah berlatar belakangkan orang kampung. Kami mencari belia-belia anak-anak muda yang memerlukan kerja dan memerlukan kemahiran. Mereka perlu menjalani latihan selama 9 bulan di Tanjung Malim. Sebelum tu kami perlu adakan latihan untuk mereka supaya mereka faham apa yang kami buat lah. Especially untuk mengenal pasti pokok, buat kerja-kerja nursery, membina tapak semaian. Itu antara salah satu daripada benda yang perlu mereka tahu sebelum mereka datang sini. Dari segi kemajuan, memang kami nampak ada kemajuan yang tinggi, di mana mereka daripada awal tidak pernah kenal apa nama pokok ataupun kerja-kerja yang melibatkan lapangan. Tapi sekarang ni rasanya sebahagian daripada mereka dah ada kepakaran.
Nama pokok ni Suria levis. Nama tempatan dia Balau Kumus. Kulit dia mengupas.
Kulit dia mengupas ni. Potong dia punya kulit ni, dia akan keluar getah-getah ni.
Biji yang kami telah kumpul ni kami akan semai di Tropical Rainforest Living Collection Banun Nursery. Ni adalah anak pokok Balau Kumus ni. Dia punya anak pokok dia. Kalau contoh dah ketiga ni kita dah tak boleh ambil dah. Kita kena biarkan lah. Kalau kita betul-betul nak ambil, kita kena tunggu buat biji tu jatuh, dia bercambah kurang-kurang dalam 2 daun hingga atau 3 daun. Okey, itu adalah yang sesuai lah. Ada peluang lah untuk hidup. Bagi saya, bila kita masuk dalam hutan tu, kita dapat tengok sendiri keunikan pokok. Apa yang kita tak pernah tengok. Kalau kita pergi ke bandar, memang kita takkan dapat lah. Jadi kita masuk dalam hutan, kita dapat tengok apa yang kita tak pernah tengok. Especially pokok lah. Pokok sebab setiap spesies dia ada kelebihan masing-masing. Anak benih pokok kerui, dia betul, dia sayang kan. Bila dia jatuh, dia pusing-pusing, jadi cantik. Cantik. Macam saya sendirilah. Saya pun tak ada minat terhadap ni. Sebab harapan saya habis sekolah tu mana ada belajar apa pasal pokok kan. Jadi Sebab saya fikir nak dapat kerja tu susah. Lepas tu dapat tawaran lah macam pasal bidang ni. Saya pun memang cuba je lah. Tapi bila fikir nak senang tu bukannya senang.
Kali pertama yang saya dapat panggilan dari kakak saya, dia cakap ada LSK Malaysia nak buat training perhutanan. Kita nak cuba, bolehlah cuba try. Saya pun try. Itu saya ajak Faris.
Melalui kerja ni saya dapat membantu balik keluarga saya. Dapat boleh membeli barang keperluan di rumah ataupun peribadi. Jadi secara tak langsung tu saya dah tolong keluarga saya.
Mungkin kalau saya tak bekerja dengan taksi mungkin kerja di kampung lah. Cita-cita saya nak berjaya lah kat mana pun saya bidang yang saya ceburi itu kan.
Bagi saya cita-cita ni macam anak pokok juga. Sebab anak pokok tu kecil. Sebab kita kena banyak bersabar untuk capai cita-cita tu. Kita beri perhatian pada anak pokok tu. Sama juga macam cita-cita kita.
If not us, then who?
Bahwa Sutulang itu hutan konservasi masyarakat adat yang di dalam terminologinya adalah tanah ulen, kawasan konservasi masyarakat adat. Itu sebuah bukti ya bahwa masyarakat adat punya kemampuan, punya kearifan, punya pengalaman mengelola hutan.
Jadi pemetaan partisipatif yang dilakukan sejak awal itu sebenarnya memang tujuannya untuk mengetahui secara pasti bahwa batas antara desa itu lebih jelas, dan kemudian itu juga bisa dipahami masing-masing pihak ketika negosiasi tentang batas. Jadi bisa dilihat dengan jelas di situ.
Jadi sebenarnya ini Kabupaten Malinau adalah tempat yang sangat bagus untuk melakukan perubahan saat ini karena memang para pemimpinnya sebenarnya adalah para aktivis, ya, pemimpin politiknya. Dan bahkan bupatinya pun sebenarnya punya latar belakang perjuangan masyarakat.
Maka ada sebuah kerjasama.
kerjasama antara pemerintah pusat, daerah, dan adat. Nah, oleh sebab itulah sebenarnya yang sangat mendasar menjadi pertimbangan perjalanan kebijakan-kebijakan Muda Melino adalah yang didukung oleh pemerintah, dilindungi oleh pemerintah, dan menjadi satu kekuatan pembangunan wisata.
Karena saya mau supaya ada orang tuh bagaimana rasa ikan sungai di sini. Mau tidak mau kita harus siap terima tamu karena kita jadi wisata sudah.
Karena tarian-tarian ini adalah penting bagi masyarakat. Karena kami suka tampil tarian-tarian ini kepada wisatawan dan menarik perhatian wisatawan.
Jadi untuk supaya masyarakat tidak melanggar juga hukum negara, kita buat surat menegur perusahaan itu jangan lanjutkan pekerjaan. Kita mengundang perusahaan itu datang ke sini. Silakan kita diskusi bersama di Stulang, di Balai Adat, tidak datang.
Saking marahnya masyarakat sehingga aparat yang lengkap dengan peralatan itu pun ada 3 unit senjata yang dari Brimob itu yang sempat dirampas oleh masyarakat.
Mungkin apakah perusahaan ini masih kembali, ini yang belum jelas ya, seperti apa, karena kalau terakhir itu memang mereka sudah lepas dari lokasi dan sudah pergi.
Pemerintah sekarang ini kan punya one map policy, satu peta untuk Indonesia. Pastikan bahwa peta wilayah adat masuk di satu peta Indonesia, one map Indonesia.
Dengan skala satelit yang dipakai oleh Departemen Kehutanan, Pak ya, 1.250.000 Pak. Jadi rumah kita ini Pak, itu hanya kelihatan hijau saja semuanya. Nah di situ kami keluar dengan ide, lah kenapa kita nggak bikin sesuatu yang bisa terbang dan membuktikan kepada pemerintah bahwa loh ada loh rumah kami di sini, ada loh wilayah kelola kami di sini, ada loh begini-begini. Nah itu Pak, nanti hasilnya seperti ini Pak, desa kita tuh. Nah, bayangkan Pak,
ini lebih jelas lagi ya.
Ini desa kita Pak.
Kalau itu kita sangat mendukung karena ini kan belum jelas ya, apakah betul-betul perusahaannya pergi atau tidak.
Nah ini Pak, kita sekarang bikin titik-titik terbangnya dia Pak. Dia dari ketinggian 250 meter Pak, itu semua ke teras, nanti dia mutar mengikuti titik-titik yang sudah kita tentukan di sini. Sana dia mutar, sudah ngambil foto Pak.
Wah ini luar biasa juga tuh.
Iya Pak, mari Pak angkat sampai di sini. Jadi rupanya masyarakat di desa Situlang mereka belum mengetahui status lahan mereka yang diambil oleh perusahaan sawit ini. Jadi masyarakat pikir mereka sudah menang, mereka sudah berhasil mengusir sawit keluar, tetapi sebetulnya persoalan utamanya belum selesai. Mungkin perusahaan tersebut masih memegang konsesi dan menunggu saat yang tepat untuk kemudian masuk kembali.
Kalau kita ingin mengharapkan Indonesia itu akan menjadi kontributor utama untuk menyelesaikan masalah-masalah perubahan iklim yang sekarang ini, sebenarnya dunia internasional harus membantu Indonesia untuk tadi ya mempercepat pengakuan dan perlindungan hak-hak masyarakat adat, karena hanya itulah basis untuk Indonesia menyelamatkan hutan-hutan terbaik, ya, menyelamatkan wilayah-wilayah yang kalau masyarakat adat dikembalikan haknya.
30 segundos, Ricardo, para dar cuenta a nuestros amigos oyentes de la experiencia que fue sobrevolar la zona afectada por la minería ilegal en Madre de Dios. Ya hemos visto imágenes en la televisión, reportajes periodísticos que dan cuenta del daño causado por la minería ilegal, pero verlo...
¿Es tan malo como se ve en las fotos, Guido?
Es peor, es peor, es peor.
The Amazon is one of the most important land ecosystems on the planet. It contains the highest concentration of plant and animal life, home to thousands of indigenous peoples. It carries 20% of the planet's fresh water to sea. The Amazon acts as the lungs of the earth, recycling our air, absorbing carbon, and moderating weather patterns, thereby providing natural protection against climate change.
The Amazon, as the single largest rainforest in the world, has an enormous amount of carbon in it. And were it to cease to exist, all of that carbon would go up in the atmosphere and add significantly to the amount of climate change that we would experience.
The Amazon rainforest spans an area of 5.5 million square kilometers, one of the largest concentrations of trees on Earth. Every day, 20 billion tons of water is released into the atmosphere by the trees of the Amazon, helping to regulate the regional and global climate. To sustain this water cycle, 80% of the forest must remain intact. We are dangerously close to the tipping point, with approximately 81% of the forest left standing. Deforestation comes from a variety of human activity: cattle ranching, agriculture, logging, oil, gas, dams, roads, and fires. But with the rise in the price of gold over the past 10 years, the Amazon has seen the rise of an even more dangerous type of deforestation: illegal gold mining.
I've been working in the Amazon for 15 years, and during that time I've seen all sorts of deforestation. But in the last 8 years, I've seen the growth of a new reason for deforestation that has transformed a place that was pristine before. It's not big companies, but individual miners using mercury to extract gold from the sediments at the bottom of Amazonian rivers. And the mercury that's released by that kind of mining poisons entire ecosystems, rivers and lakes, affecting fish, animals, and the people that eat those animals. Mercury is used in artisanal gold mining as a way to concentrate the gold that's found in the sand and sediments at the bottom of rivers. Mercury acts kind of like a magnet that attracts that gold and captures it, turning it into an amalgam. That mercury goes into the rivers, and there, at the bottom of those rivers, is converted to another form, a more dangerous form of mercury, called methylmercury, which then gets absorbed into the food chain. It gets concentrated in plants and fish, and then gets magnified up the food chain. So the biggest fish at the top of the food chain have the highest concentrations. And in many cases, those are the ones that are favored by people for consumption.
Gold mining doesn't just affect Peru. Gold mining affects all of Amazonia, from Colombia to Bolivia, from Ecuador to Brazil. Artisanal and small-scale gold mining is now seen in 70 countries, with more than 20 million people directly involved in their operation. Mercury is an extremely toxic substance that affects the brain and central nervous system. Pregnant women and young children are at the highest risk, with effects that include birth defects, lower IQ, impaired motor function, and complications with hearing, sight, and taste.
Currently, we're doing research that measures the amount of mercury in the environment. We're taking samples of fish from rivers, hair samples from people who live in villages throughout the region. What we found is extremely concerning. 76% of the people in Madre de Dios have hair mercury levels that are much higher than the World Health Organization's maximum recommended limits. In our study, we found that Native people had mercury levels 5 times higher than those in the city. This indicates to us that this is an area under crisis.
One reason why mercury is so harmful is that it is persistent in the environment. Since mercury is an element found on the periodic table, it cannot be broken down or destroyed. This means that once mercury is released into the environment, it is likely to stay for decades or centuries. With illegal gold mining comes a slew of other problems, such as violence, organized crime, corruption, drug trafficking, and child slavery. Recently, the Peruvian government started to take action by becoming one of the first countries in the world to take a stand against illegal gold mining.
Nosotros estamos en contra de las actividades ilegales. El Perú es un país que tiene un fuerte potencial minero, es un país que sustenta su crecimiento en minería, eso sigue siendo una actividad importante, pero queremos que esta actividad se haga de manera formal, de manera legal y cumpliendo con todas las condiciones ambientales y sociales que el Perú impone. Ese es el principio.
Since April of 2014, Peru has made significant progress in slowing deforestation by shutting down many of the illegal mines, regulating the mining process, and following the trail of illegal gold as it moves from the mines to consumers around the world. And there are solutions.
What one really needs is a plan to manage the Amazon as a system, to keep that hydrological cycle going. That may seem like a hopeless dream, and maybe we could never get to perfection, but we certainly can be a lot better than we have. There are hundreds and hundreds of species of birds that occur in the Amazon, countless numbers of insects, amazing butterflies. Everywhere you look, it's something different. It's sort of like you had a huge Christmas stocking that you never get to the toe of. And as you work your way through it, each time you find a package, it's different.
There needs to be awareness. There needs to be support. And the determination of people and countries to band together to govern and protect the world's forests.
I would like to tell other kids around the world that the Amazon is something precious that we should hold, because once we lose it, that's when we're going to realize how important it is. I don't want them to regret in future generations them telling their kids, oh, and there was this once like beautiful rainforest that because we didn't take action, it doesn't exist anymore. I want to tell them, let's go travel and see it.
Together, we can promote safer and more efficient mining methods, develop plans for better agricultural practices, promote sustainable economic alternatives, and ultimately reforest and protect one of our most precious ecosystems, the Amazon rainforest.